What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Big Drip, your better half of the pop culture corner. Dude, that intro, Drizzle, bravo, bravo. That was wonderful. I really enjoyed that. That was the first time I saw that. First time y'all saw that. That was dope. Today, this is Driips Corner, baby. And we're on Tuesdays and Sundays, I'll be doing some little streams. He'll hop in every now and again when he feel like it. But the whole thing is he does the daily show, so we figured a couple days out of the week I could do something solo. We can spend some one-on-one time together, right? Tuesdays, I like to hop on the PlayStation. I'll stream a game. We'll have a conversation. I'll talk to y'all in the chat, whatever. But Sundays is a special day. Sunday is a day that you get to look me in my eye and we get to conversate. And we get to have a good time, right? So yesterday for the podcast, Dizzle had this wonderful idea that we every week, now that we have the phone open every week on the podcast for people to call in and chime in and talk, he thought it'd be a good idea that we come into it every week with a topic, right? Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, please and thank you. Every week we come in with a topic, so that way when you guys call in, you know what we're talking about. We are all on the same page. We have a nice conversation. Yesterday, that topic was multiverse. That topic was how you should come across it. It's a little crunchy. How you should come across making your multiverse or shared universe, excuse me, and what's required, what we would personally do, who does what right, who does what wrong. It was a great conversation. We got a lot of phone calls, a lot of different inputs and perspectives. It was really dope, and it got me thinking. So I came home later that night, and I had watched Infinity War for the first time, and it's been a while. It's been at least a year since I watched it, so I forgot about a lot of stuff. I watched it, and I mean, if we're being perfectly honest, to this day, this movie still gets me excited. I still get hyped up every time I watch it. That opening scene when they first invade and we see Spider-Man on the bus, right? The little hair thing happens, right? I love it. I'm all about it. I love it. So I was thinking I would like to continue to talk about that, right? What's required to make a shared universe, and it's a special thing that I've seen Infinity War like 6-7 times, and I'm still into it, right? I still watch it and still go, yeah, that's awesome, right? I still get hyped up. So I thought, how do you do that, right? How do you come across that? I mean, first of all, it can't be just one person, right? Nobody, like, it has to be a team of people, right? When something gets this big and this extravagant and and this isn't just Marvel I'm speaking on. This is any shared universe that's done well and is enjoyable and people like it. I know a lot of you consider DC to be that. So I'm not discriminating here, but it does take a lot. It takes a lot. I think anyways, I don't think just an understanding for source material is enough. I think a passion is necessary. I think a love for the source material is necessary. We see that in Kevin Feige. We see that in people like Matt Reeves, James Gunn, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but he seems like a fanboy anyways. And I think that's necessary. A lot of the best films we've seen have come, comic book films more specifically, that we've seen are made by people who have a real passion for it, And I think that's a big requirement. And we had this big long talk about leadership and that kind of, I know I keep doing it. I keep bringing it up. You're going to hear a lot of Marvel talk, but you need a Feige, right? Not just somebody who, he just calls the shots and tells people what to do and, go do this and go do that. No. Yeah, we do. It takes, you need somebody that can work as a team, right? Like a team leader, a team player, team leader. It's not enough. It's not enough to just have somebody telling people what to do. This is a group of people, especially when you're working with source material that has been pre-written. Stories have been going on for yes, I call you that. We're talking about characters that have been written for years and years and years from all different writers and artists, drawn and depicted in all these different ways. And there's so many people like all of us that love these characters, and our sensibilities when it comes to these things are very fragile, right? And we don't want to see anything done wrong. We don't want to see any character that we love depicted in a way that doesn't mirror that love, if that makes any sense, right? So I've been watching. So like I said, I watched Infinity War. I did not watch Endgame afterwards. I do like Endgame, but I don't like it that much. Infinity War is much better. What I proceeded to watch was Bucky and Winter Soldier, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, excuse me. Their names are so goofy, I try to avoid actually saying them. The show's pretty good, guys. It's not bad. I came in with very, very, very low expectations. I wasn't even kind of excited for the show whatsoever. I thought it was just kind of a push for something that's not really there, trying to force feed us a chemistry that doesn't really exist, you know, between Falcon and Bucky. I really don't see it. It was one scene in Civil War, but I've been wrong, and I'll be wrong again. It's actually really good. I'm really digging it. And before I get on to that, let me do some business talk. Guys, if you love me, if you appreciate me, and Tyler and producer Jack, I don't want to be selfish and narcissistic. Please, if you're not already, please like, subscribe, follow. You know the deal. You know the whole spiel. I don't.
I don't know where he went. Are you back?
I don't know, but God forbid my life. I think I'm back. Yeah, God forbid I can. God forbid I can be happy. God forbid I can be happy, guys. And I meant to say it out loud.
It seems like it gets better. It seems like it gets better when I'm here for some reason. I don't know why.
I was gonna say it before I got into the spiel. I got sidetracked. I was gonna say it out loud. I am a tad bit nervous for that exact reason. And look, sure as rain, my nervous feelings were correct, and internet decides to kick me out. Happy trails to Big Grip.
Again, I don't think it's the internet necessarily. I think it's the computer.
No, yeah. Because conversation we've had many times.
Yeah, I always blamed my internet, but in truth, it wasn't the internet. It was the computer. Because once I got a new one, things got much better. But
I saw that.
But yeah, you like that little intro I came up with?
Yeah, it was dope. I was really into it. I didn't do that. I'm wearing a Naruto shirt. I was like, that's awesome. I'm a little mad that I didn't come into this with anything anime to talk about. Now
I figure you normally
my whole topic choice.
Yeah, I figure you normally will. Today's kind of just a different thing, but
no, that's true. I will. You know what it is? There's kind of a lack of fresh content for anime right now. At the type I watch, anyways. You know, there's always anime flooding out, but shows I watch are shortcoming right now. So anything I would cover would be old news. You know.
Right. All right. Yeah, but continue. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay here. But I'm gonna yeah. So just in case. But I'm gonna do that. I'll do this. All right, you're good.
I can't even describe in words to you guys. First of all, genuinely, I am sorry. I really am. I hate that it works like this. I hate that this happens every single time I try to do a stream. I hate that every time I try to talk to you guys, something has to go wrong. And I'm sorry for that. And I will fix that. But, you know, due to popular belief, we are not rich. Far from it, my friends, actually. Well, I am anyways. I'm quite poor. Back to my topic. Shared universes, right? How to do them, what not to do, what you should do, right? And now I've said this a million times because we've been talking a lot of Snyder lately. Well, you know, the past couple months. I've always appreciated DC more than Marvel. Overall, comic book wise, super actual character wise, I like DC more, like a lot more. So I really did want to like these movies, but I cannot ignore the flaws. especially, and I'm not talking individual movies. I'm not talking about, this has nothing to do with Snyder and has everything to do with the DCEU in general. I think they're a golden display of what not to do when you're trying to build something of that magnitude. Excuse me. They're coming into this looking for Marvel kind of numbers, right? Without putting in the same kind of work Marvel put in, you know? I feel like DC Warner Brothers came into it thinking that they were going to start off where Marvel is right now, right? They didn't start from the bottom and climb their way up like they're supposed to. They try to jump ship and land on the, you know, the same level. That's not how that works. You got to put the time, you got to put the effort in. You got to, you have to make us like them, right? Make us like you, make us think, okay, you know what you're doing, and we're excited for this, right? Marvel has this great way of making me legitimately excited for things, right? I don't want to spoil Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I won't get into specifics, but for a show that I had zero hopes for whatsoever and wasn't even kind of excited for, they're leaving me like, oh, wow, that was pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what's next. That's weird. I wonder what that is. Oh, excuse me. That's sad. That's sad. That and it's, I mean, I don't want to seem like I'm attacking you people because I'm not, but DC's not giving me that at all. Not a single time did I sit down. Actually, I'm lying. With the exception of the Snyder Cut, I have never sat down in a DCEU movie and be like, yeah, I can't wait for the future. Never. They've never done that. With the exception of the Snyder Cut, due to Darkseid and Steppenwolf, I actually am excited to see what they would do with them. They're really cool characters. And I think that's a key, essential, what's the word I'm looking for? Part, right? Whatever you want to call it, it's part of it, and it's essential that you make people excited for the future, right? When you do a shared universe, your individual movies don't hold that much of a significance, right? It's more about the big picture, right? And so Marvel's a great example with Phase 1, right? Phase 1 was pretty lame, with the exception of I'd say Iron Man and Incredible Hulk. Not a big fan of Thor or Captain America: First Avenger. Didn't really like them. Overall, I think Phase 1 was pretty whack, but it led into Avengers, this big spectacle, this awesome event, right? This comic book event, and that's what I think should be the idea process in a multiverse, in a shared universe. I keep saying multiverse for whatever reason, but I think that's how you come across it. If I was to build a shared universe, right? I'll go with the same example I used yesterday. I'll use Nintendo, right? If I'm taking all these Nintendo character properties, these video game properties, these legends, these titans within the video game community, Mario, Zelda, Link, Donkey Kong, all of them, I want to give you guys like an idea of how I would approach it, right? Because I do a lot of complainings and a lot of nitpickings and a lot of, picking and choosing. So I want to give you guys an idea of how I would come across it, what I consider to be well done. Now, I for obvious reasons, I don't have all the answers for this, right? Obviously, what I'm talking about is very surface level. It's just what I can see, right? Because I don't have any like indoor experience with this. I've never done this before, but I come into it. If you ask me, you don't start with your biggest, right? You don't start with your Marios. You don't start with your Batmans. You don't start with your Supermans. You start with your Aquamans. A good Nintendo comparison to Aquaman. I'd say let's go with Kid Icarus, right? Angel Wings, and he shoots arrows in Super Smash. You start with him, the one that people tend to clown on and make fun of, but there's a potential there for that character to be cool. Aquaman, Kid Icarus, right? There's a potential there that if you handle it correctly and you mold it and sculpt it in the right way and you write it in the right way, it could be really cool and it'd be really interesting to see. I think you start there. You put your best efforts into it, your A game, right? You bring your A game to that movie, the guy that everybody makes fun of, the goofy one, and make him as cool as possible. Next, So I've always loved the idea of after credit scenes, right? Just subtle, tiny connections to each other. For example, the end of Incredible Hulk, we see Tony having a drink with General Thunderbolt Ross. So I love the idea of that, just subtle, like, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be bringing somebody on. If I'm using the Nintendo analogy again, and Billy, to address your comment, I'm thinking more animated, live action. Just Nintendo's too out there, for live action. It just wouldn't work. So I'm thinking more of an animated, not even like an anime style, like a 3D kind of style. You do something like Kid Icarus. Again, you start with Kid Icarus, right? And at some point through the movie, you see like or a show, whatever it is, you see a fire flower, right? Or like a Yoshi egg or something. Oh, that's a nod to Mario. I know Mario. Oh, wow. They're in the same place? Okay. Interesting. Maybe it's just an Easter egg. Who knows? You leave them questioning, right? They don't even know if that's your intention to make it a shared universe. Maybe it's just a nod. You don't know. Next time around, next show, next movie, whatever comes next. You hit him with somebody big. Not your biggest, but a big Link. That's in comparison, that would be like Wonder Woman to DC, right? You bring Link in, everybody loves Link. General audiences like may know who he is, but they're not like super familiar, right? They can't like tell you the origins the same way they could for Batman or Superman, whatever the case may be. You hit him with that. That's guaranteed to succeed if you just, it would be very hard to make that not work, right? Like Wonder Woman Link and Wonder Woman are essentially the same thing on different platforms. If you mess that up, you did it on either on purpose or you really are just in the wrong business and you should not be doing this, because this is a character everybody loves and quite on paper, it's quite simple. Link is no exception. So you go with that next and you get the excitement up. Oh, okay. All right. This is getting cool. Now you make another little connection, another little subtle nod. Maybe Link comes across a side character, a supporting character from the Kid Icarus show or movie, whatever it is. There's your little connection there, right? Now, as we go in, I'm going to use 5 movies, right? I'll do the whole phase thing. 5 movies, big events, right? Next movie comes around. Now you make it abundant. This is your chance to make it abundantly clear. Yes, in fact, this is a shared universe. Yes, these people are in the same place. Yes, they will come across each other eventually. This is where it gets tricky because in BBS, that was the file scene, right? When Wonder Woman, Bruce sends Wonder Woman the files on Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, and that's it, right? Just the 3 of them. Yeah, there's one more. I'm for whatever reason I'm forgetting. Doesn't matter. That's that kind of scene, right? It's tricky to do because that scene got a lot of shit. A lot of people shit on it, including me. I did not like that scene at all. How you come across it is that's a hard one, honestly. Something I didn't premeditate on, and that's a hard one. But now you got to understand. So for my analogy, for my example's sake, Nintendo is very lighthearted. They're not by any means like a serious kind of studio. Everything's colorful and bright, and there's mushrooms with faces and smiles and stuff, right? They're not that serious. So if I was to come across it, all right, 3rd movie, I'm giving it to your big stars, your A game, right? Mario and Luigi, biggest you got, right? 3rd movie, you do their movie together. Mario and Luigi's conflict, their main conflict within the film or show, whatever, I'm just going to say movie for example's sake, within the movie is directly tied to what happened in the very first movie, Kid Icarus' movie, right? They share the protagonist or antagonist, right? Antagonist. They share the same villain, right? And what that villain did in the first movie is now spilling over into our 3rd movie. Right? Okay, now you can't deny it anymore. This is 100% a shared universe, right? Now, this is 100% happening in that manner. So we move on. We go down the road. That conflict is solved. Maybe you throw Kid Icarus in there. Maybe have him help Mario and Luigi finish the job. maybe, but we want to keep it subtle, right? Subtlety is important, if you ask me. So I think we have him help, but not in a direct manner, right? He just kind of points them in the right direction, whatever. Maybe they don't even have a conversation, right? From there, that movie wraps up, everything ends. At the end of that movie, Bowser is our Thanos, right? At the end of that movie, we get our first look at him, right? That spin around scene in the first Avengers movie, that kind of scene, right? When we see our big bad for the first time. First of all, it needs to be menacing. Just absolutely terrifying. That's easy. Bowser's a giant dragon monster that sprays fire and thorns on his back and shit.
How would he look in live action? Would he
look? Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I honestly I don't think anything Nintendo has, with the exception of like Link, because he's just an elf with a sword. But most of their characters and properties and stuff do not belong in live action. It would just be horrendous. It would be quite scary, honestly. Probably. I couldn't possibly imagine them putting that on live action without it being terrifying. Small children having nightmares and some more.
Right.
Where did I leave off? Big bad. Left off at the big bad. Bowser. Bowser's our big bad. You get us our first little introduction. He's absolutely terrifying. He's absolutely menacing. Maybe you get a little taste of what the plan is. He doesn't outright say it, but you get an idea. There is a plan. He's going to make a move. Something's going to happen. Shit's going to get real quick, right? End of movie. Fourth movie. The next one's the event, right? Fourth movie, we give it to whoever fills that fourth spot within the fifth movie. I would say, let's see, I did Kid Icarus, Link, Mario, and Luigi thus far. Maybe switch it up a bit, right? Give it to an
Toad movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking like an
Toad movie. Yeah, right? Toad is an anti-hero.
No, he's not. No, Toad is just an annoying little mushroom man. That's who I was talking about, the mushroom with the smiley face.
But I'm always Toad in Mario Kart.
Yeah, he's the fastest. He's the fastest.
All right, let me get a Yoshi movie.
So I'm thinking because Yoshi's also just like a side character. I'm thinking Wario, right? Wario, in comparison, it's kind of like a Red Hood, I guess, that in the sense that he kind of imitates Batman, but he does it in like a more gruesome kind of way, if that makes any sense. That's kind of what Wario is to Mario, right? So that gives us that like Guardian of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad-esque kind of feel to this universe, right? Like, not everything is so sunshine and rainbows all the time. Sometimes she gets dark, she gets real, right? So you get Wario the fifth movie, right? And he's the one from this movie is where we find out what Bowser's plan actually is, because Wario's the type of character that he's always like scheming and plotting, right? He's just trying to get some money. He's doing stuff like that. So we do like I wouldn't say it's like a heist movie, but it's a movie focusing on Wario trying to steal from Bowser, right? But he's kind of behind the scenes. So Mario and Luigi are in this end dealing with Bowser. Wario's behind the scenes, kind of, sneaking his way through, right? And that's where we learn Bowser's real plan. That's the first time we spend some real time with Bowser, right? We actually get to see him as a villain, what's going on, what he's planning to do, what he's capable of doing, etc. Wario's movie ends. Wario's movie goes on. Again, it's kind of a movie of him trying to, just weasel his way into some money. But movie ends, and it's either A, things have gotten so real that he can no longer ignore it. Even somebody who's dirty and only cares about money can't ignore the threat that's coming. Or B, something directly, we find out there is something he actually cares about, and that is being directly affected because of Bowser. So I'm gonna go with B because it's more sentimental, right? So something happens. Bowser gets his hands on Wario's kid, right? Whatever. He has a kid, right? Whatever. Who cares? Bowser gets his hand on him. Now Wario has no choice. He knows, because he's been so close to Bowser since we spent this whole movie, he knows damn right well, okay, I can't stop him alone. I just can't. Maybe he attempts to do so, and he gets his head caved in like the Hulk did against Thanos, right? Gets beat up real bad. All right, I actually have to try here, right? As much as I don't want to, I couldn't possibly imagine, like, I just don't want to, I'm gonna, right? Movie ends, we open it, it's our big event, right? Super Nintendo World, the movie, right? Big event, everything's about to happen. We open up, opening shot. Beautiful land is part of Peach's kingdom, right? Beautiful land, people living their lives and smiles and sunshines. Bowser attacks, decimates everything, wipes out the entire place, leaves no survivors whatsoever. He leaves nothing but ash and fire in his wake. Everybody and everything is dead, and the planet is soon to be next. All right, now we get one of those scenes where it's like picture it's like the government, right? When Godzilla attacks, they all come together. Sir, we have a big problem, and you know the government, blah blah blah. And Godzilla's blowing up the city. That kind of scene, right? Everybody's panicking. All the little mushroom people, they're freaking out. They're going to Peach. What's going on? What's happening? What can we do? Blah blah blah. She calls Mario and Luigi. They show up. Whole thing happens. First encounter with your bad guy, right? Big epic fight scenes, kind of like that Germany scene with Loki and Captain America, right? Similar to that. Okay, this time around, Mario can't beat Bowser. He got some new special thing, whatever the case may be, whatever. He gets some new special thing, can't beat him alone. All right, let's go to Link. Link comes around. Link tells some ancient story, because that's the type of character he is, this ancient story. Again, he's like a Wonder Woman, right? He tells this ancient story of how, like, back when the gods would do this, and you know we were attacked and blah blah blah, kind of like the history scene from Justice League, basically, right? So he tells some kind of ancient prophecy about the world being decimated, whatever the case may be. Kid Icarus is the kind of character that he has like a, I mean, to my understanding, I'm not that well versed on the character, if I'm being honest, but if I understand correctly, he's kind of like a Green Lantern in the sense that he has like a sector, like he has like a responsibility to protect a certain area, a certain place, a certain planet, whatever the case may be. And that's obviously why he's here. I've always loved Marvel's idea of, like, yeah, we saw them beforehand, but like our actual introduction to Hawkeye and Black Widow, well, more Hawkeye than anything, was in Avengers. So I've always liked that idea. I think that's a great way to implement something new, even though this is kind of, in a sense, could be your end, right? In theory, this could be the end of it, but it's something fresh and new, something to look forward to. So we introduce a new character within this big event, right? Let me pick a character. Little Mac, right? I love Little Mac, boxer, right? This guy, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, that guy. Little Mac comes in. He's just a righteous steward, right? He's just one of those. He's just, I'm here to do the right thing because it's the right thing. That's simple as that. That's the type of character he is. He comes in. They all join together through the power of friendship. They defeat Bowser, right? Or so they think, right? Now here's the part I was talking about earlier, is, and this is key, you need to make people excited for the future, right? Especially if this is like your event, and again, theoretically, this could be the end of it. You know, a lot of people were thinking to themselves, oh, this is probably over now. Why would they keep going, right? So this is where it gets tricky, because you have to keep the people excited, right? You got to keep the people wanting more. So you could either A, go the Infinity War route and kind of leave it not on a cliffhanger, but like well, no, it can't end like that, right? They're superheroes. It has to work out in the end. Or I'm thinking it, if I was to do it, this is all coming off the top of the head, by the way, people. I'm a hell of a freestyler. If I was to do it, to keep you excited for the future, to make you want to come back, to make you think, even though this big event thing's over and Bowser was defeated, I'm gonna make you want to come back, right? I'm gonna put asses in seats once again. So you either I would surprise Bowser's not dead, right? Bowser either won't die or they refuse to kill him, one or the other. But make it abundantly clear that he will be back and that he could do this again, right? And there's a reason they need to stay together. Now, I'm not suggesting they form like a team, right? They don't form their own Avengers or whatever, but they stay on the lookout, right? That needs work. That needs work. But again, that's off the top of my head. The point I'm trying to make here is what I think works in a shared universe, and especially in a long-term sense. You know, Marvel's been going on for 20 plus years, and no, it's not. It hasn't been that long. I'm lying. It's been more like 16, something like that. It's still a long time, if you ask me. And to this day, they got me excited again, dude. I didn't care about Bucky. I mean, I keep messing up the name. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't care about it, but they actually did something with it. There's actually something there. It actually has potential. I don't know. Can you guys get in the comments? Let me know if you watched this already. Those of you who are here, because I would like to talk about it in detail. If there's only 4 of you, so I should be able to get an answer. Because there's a lot of stuff that I suspect is happening, but I can't like talk about it without doing any kind of spoilers whatsoever. So I would love to know. Please let me know if you guys watched this already. While I'm waiting for that answer, let me do some business talk. If you're not already, please like and subscribe. Matter of fact, I think it's where I froze last time, so maybe it was a mistake, but I'm going to make that mistake twice. Please like, subscribe, follow, engage. You know, we make a post, comment on it, comment in our streams and podcasts, and leave reviews, please and thank you. As of right now, it's all about getting into that algorithm. We're trying to get caught up in that. I like to think of an algorithm as an undertow, right? Kind of like a current. You get caught up in it. You're trying to get yourself in it, and it's constantly flowing and going. We're trying to get all up in that. You guys, I'm sure you know how to use it. Everybody has social media. Everybody has YouTube. Everybody knows how an algorithm works or what it is. So please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We appreciate you. Everything we do is for you, for the culture. We also have a Patreon with what we consider to be dope perks, early podcast access, yearly gifts. We do watch parties. We've really been slacking on the watch parties, but it will happen again eventually. Sometimes we'll have one of our patrons join private Discord or the whole 9. What's the discount? 10%, right? 10% on our merch for a lifetime, right?
No, 15.
15. Ooh, big numbers around here, baby. 15% off all our merch for a lifetime. It's only $5, guys. We're not asking for much, but at the same time, you don't pay it. I'm not mad at you. Just you being here and interacting with us is more than enough, and we appreciate everything you do. If you're in the Philly area, check out Bon's Bar. They make all kinds of wings and seafoods, and you know, they have this amazing bartender. She makes all kinds of awesome drinks, and Jack be there on Thursday nights, I believe he said. That he does trivia and he's hanging out with you guys. And so if you're in the Philly area, check it out. They've been working with us, and if you ask me, they're a great team of people to work with. We've been having a good time. We are also working with Showcase Cinemas. Again, if you guys have been paying attention, if you've been in the corner for quite some time now, we did Wonder Woman 1984, quote unquote, live.
Yeah, it wasn't live that time. But
what up, Michael? It's hilarious. Yeah, it was supposed to be live. We were at Showcase. We watched Wonder Woman 1984. Boo. This time around, we're going to be doing Godzilla versus Kong, same kind of format. And this time we will actually be live. So I'm hyped for that. I'm really excited.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully.
So,
but,
I'm
just go ahead.
Wait, no, I'm glad you're on. I got a question for you. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. I'm not even gonna do it to you. Never mind. Never mind. I'll continue where I left off. So, where did I leave off? So I gave you guys an idea of how I would do it, right? Kind of an inside look to the Big Driips brain, how I would build a universe. Again, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not a movie exec. I'm not a producer. I'm not a director. I'm none of those things. I've never worked in film a day in my life. I did not take film school. I did nothing of the sort. The little knowledge I have is due to the fact that we do this show. So I obviously don't know what I'm talking about, but I can recognize when something is well put together and not sloppily done. We said it. I've said it a million times. We said it a million times last time. Oh, excuse me. But there needs to be. You got to stick to your guns, and that's. I know I keep saying it, but it's for a reason. It's because. If you ask me, that's DC's biggest problem is that they just didn't go through with the plan that they put together, backed out of it, and try to keep it pushing without giving any kind of straight answers whatsoever, and then really just stirring the pot by giving us Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. So now it's like, really, what the hell is going on in DC, in the DCEU, or at Warner Media more specifically?
Right.
And when we were having this conversation last night, I had mentioned that we had a lot of phone calls, which was nice. I like having the phones open. It's a lot of fun. And, dude, I didn't realize how many shared universes are actually out there. Like, every time we talk about it, it's only Marvel or DC that comes up. But, I mean, dude, there's so many
more.
Yeah, it's insane.
I completely forgot about all the horror ones and the I mean, technically, Star Wars is a shared universe at this point. Yep. So, I mean, there are a lot more. Freddy vs. Jason. The Alien, Predator.
Yeah, Alien and Predator. Yep, the Insidious movies, and there's like 15 plus movies.
There's not 15 plus movies for that.
Yeah, dude. No, I
Insidious is not 15 movies.
No. Within this universe, it's not just Insidious. It's Insidious. It's that the one about the doll. She has like 2 movies. Oh my god, the Conjuring is part of it. That has like 3 movies, and then Insidious has like 5 by itself. It's big. It's big. It's a big universe. They actually expanded that really far, and it succeeded, y'all. Assholes were going in seats for that. They were selling tickets, man. People were watching that. Annabelle. Okay, I said that right. They were selling tickets. So I mean, I didn't like it. I watched the first Insidious movie. I was like, all right, it was pretty good. But then from there on out, I was like, all right, I'm good.
All right. Well, there's 3 Conjuring movies. There's The Nun.
3. Oh, The Nun too. Yeah.
Then there's 2 Annabelles. And then how many Insidious movies are there? There's probably 3 of those
I feel like there's 4.
Let me see. I accidentally typed in Inside Out, not Insidious.
It's a good movie. I like that movie.
Are you sure Insidious and The Conjuring are in the same thing?
Yes. Yeah. Because I was surprised about it as well. So when I heard it stood out.
Yeah, there is 4 of them.
Is there? Yeah. I'm saying there's a lot of
4, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's like roughly 12 movies in it, and the franchise. That's crazy.
That's lot.
Crazy
for
a horror franchise.
Yep, and it's selling. That's the crazy part. It sells. Like, people go to see those movies. Like I said, I'm good. That's not my cup of tea at all. I'm not really a fan. I like slashers. And that was something we talked about with Matt Jarbo, excuse me. Slasher kind of shared universe, and I would love to see that.
Imagine like an actually well done, where they got the studios together, right? And they like whoever owns I don't know if there's separate studios that own like Michael,
I believe so.
and Freddy and Jason and and Chucky and whatnot. I'm sure it's separate studios for most of them, but imagine they got all the studios together and said, let's build and expand upon a slasher universe. And they wouldn't even have to tie together like they wouldn't have to tie together like the Avengers, right? It would just have to,
no.
You know what I mean? Like in a Freddy movie, the town that they're in would also be in a Jason movie at one point. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
They wouldn't have to necessarily be the two villains in one movie, but imagine like a done well slasher universe. I think that'd be kind of cool.
It would be cool. I'd love to see that. And you're absolutely right. That was something we also talked about yesterday. It doesn't take any kind of thought process whatsoever. Think about it. Freddy vs. Jason, nobody questioned why they were together. Nobody cared. They were like, oh, that's cool, right? That's the type of content you would get from that, though. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's really it, you know? No real significance or weight there, but shit, I mean, it's cool. And, you know, something I thought of not too long ago, I'd say like a week ago, something like that, is X-Men is the first comic book to do the shared universe thing. X-Men, I mean, the MCU, by the time X-Men started doing shared universe type movies, meaning like solo movies and then team up movies and then event movies, it's kind of after the MCU already existed. But I mean, you know, they kind of were doing it first when, you know, with the first, the original trilogy. I would give them that props. I would give them the props of being the first one.
Wait, what is he talking about? The Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah, that's a good movie. You never seen Cabin in the Woods?
Of course I've seen it. I'm confused. I'm confused on why he's bringing it up.
I don't know either. We didn't direct that, or he was attached to it? No. I
could have sworn it was. I could have sworn it was. Drew. Oh no, Drew. Was he in it? Hold on.
Drew wrote it. Drew Goddard.
Yeah, because I was gonna say he
wrote it.
He's always who I like. The first name that he directed it. He didn't write it.
Oh, well, he did. Oh,
he wrote it with Joss. Is what the deal was.
Okay.
So the screen. Okay. But I was gonna say there's a reason that I always think of Drew when I think of Cabin in the Woods. It's because he directed and wrote. But Joss Whedon was apparently that fucking scumbag was a part of it too.
Dude, I was quite disappointed with that movie because it was awesome.
What?
I'm disappointed because it was awesome and I didn't get enough. And then nothing happened. Nothing came of it. I was like, this is amazing. I want to see more monsters, but we never got anything.
I love the ending of that, like where like the top was completely blown out and it was just like, what is going on right now? Because I am so confused, but I am loving every second of it.
Yeah,
it was. Oh my god, what a good movie! And what they did well was they leaned into the classic tropes of a horror movie, right? Like the dumb jock, like they played the stoner kid. They played into those so well. Oh my god!
And it, you know, it's all intentional. It's all like. At the same time, it's a homage to if I'm using that word correctly, I think I am, to horror films over the years, both slasher and monster movies alike. And then it's also its own slasher monster horror movie, like legitimately, you know. So that's why I think it was special. And it was cool to look at. It was just cool to look at, plain and simple.
Very much so. But so I mean, your idea for like a Nintendo multiverse, or not multiverse. See, I did it too because you did it. Called it a multiverse. Shared universe. I think you can do a shared universe. Like any company that owns a property that has a lot of expanded like characters, lots of characters, and lots of different story arcs. You can do a shared universe, but again, it's not about doing a shared universe. It's about getting it right, doing it in a tasteful way, and not just doing it the same way we've seen before, which is kind of what I was going. Like I was interested in the Dark universe with the Mummy and all those other ones.
As was I.
But they kind of just hit a brick wall and decided, you know what, this isn't for us, and then just left it alone. But we I mean, the problem is I think you said earlier, if studios get cold feet and they don't see the money right away and they get nervous. And I mean, Marvel didn't just wake up one day and the money was coming in, right?
Exactly. That's the point I was trying to make. Exactly.
They had to go through so many failed Hulk movies before they realized, like, we're not doing it right. Like on paper, the Ang Lee Hulk movie should have been the greatest thing ever, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
It really wasn't. I mean, if you look at it, right, like Marvel didn't start off with the formula they have now. It happened in real time. We watched that formula be made, right, as the movies came along and as the years went by. The formula, the wheels started turning, right? Maybe some oil, threw some coal in the fire pit. Things were getting going. That wheel was starting to turn. Like I was saying earlier, DC, it seems one media thought they could just come in that way. They could just start off there. Like that's how that works, right? They could, it's a basketball game, right? And Marvel has 35 points. DC just joined the game and they think that they're going to start off with 35 points. Like, nah, player, that's not how that works. And I believe that's their problem. I don't know. I like the idea of grabbing a bunch of, imagine a shared universe where there's really no connection to these characters whatsoever. Like, yeah, it makes sense that they're in the same world, but other than that, they don't really have any connection whatsoever, right? Like, for obviously Marvel has a connection because they're all written by Marvel and they're all distributed by Marvel. Same thing with DC. Slasher films, they're all related because they're all serial killers and they just slash each other, right? But imagine something, I don't know, something really out the box and things that just don't like connect, but there is a connection there, right? E.T. and Alien, like that connects and that could technically be a thing, but why would it ever be a thing, right? You see what I'm saying? Imagine something of that sort. I want to see more out of the box thinking. Not going forward, now that doing shared universes is kind of like a normal, right? And it's not that crazy anymore. And like studios can do it without thinking like, oh, it's going to be this big crazy thing, right? It's more of a norm now. I would like to see people start thinking out of the box with these and getting clever and getting creative and giving me some wacky, wild stuff, right?
Yeah, but so I always imagine, like, all right, so with shared universes, it gets tough because first off, you have to have the property, right? You have to have you have to figure out which property makes the most sense. So you're a studio, right? And you have access to the Maze Runner, and you have access to I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm going a different way with this. So you have access to the Maze Runner, but you also have access to I Am Legend, right? And you have to make the decision. All right, which one makes the most sense to be able to build a universe in, right? So to build to have a world that I could expand upon, where it would stay relevant. People wouldn't mind if we explored like avenues that aren't necessarily the main characters or whatever. In that scenario, I would go with the Maze Runner. I wouldn't go with I Am Legend, right? Because the Maze Runner, the world has been, the world is, it leaves you endless opportunities to kind of explore. Whereas I Am Legend, there's like, the whole story about is like the last man on Earth and like a zombie apocalypse. So you first things first, when it comes out of the studio, is which property would we want to build upon, and which property would we want to create a shared universe in? Then you have to establish a foundation, right? So you have to produce a movie or some sort of content, whether it's a show or a film that is laying the foundation for your shared universe. And then, down the road, yada yada yada. It's not just you don't just wake up one day and say I'm doing this. It's a lot of time, planning, investments, and this is what my point is you can't do that. You can't do that the same way you would make a movie, right? It's not the same when you're trying to make a universe, a shared cinematic universe, as just going out and make a Mad Max movie, right? No, you have to have someone at the helm, like Kevin Feige. You have to have someone who's overseeing the entire property. You have to bring in different directors and get them working together, kind of like what Jon Favreau did in The Mandalorian. Is not one person directs each episode. It's a lot of different directors that bring in their own their own little touch. So, and I think that's why The Mandalorian works so well, is because you got Jon Favreau who's overseeing the whole thing, but then you have each director kind of inserting their little mwah to it,
right?
So
putting their flavor on it.
It's not just as simple as making the movie.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. There's a lot to it, and that's why for the past 2 days I've been talking about this, because there's so much to think about it. Once again, kudos to you for bringing up the topic, because it's been on my mind this entire time.
I'll be right back. 1 sec.
Yeah, of course. As he was just talking, I was thinking about that slasher universe. Yesterday when we were having this conversation, the whole slasher horror movie shared kind of thing would be amazing for me. I would love to see something of that sort. Imagine Rob Zombie kind of taking the helms for that. I'd say he played more of a Snyder role, not a Feige role, where he kind of he oversees it from a director's standpoint, not like a Feige kind of standpoint, not a producer standpoint. As an overall artist, his style will be within the most of it. I absolutely adore Rob Zombie. He's from my hometown, fun fact. But I beside all that, like, I actually really like his content. He had a good band, House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil Rejects. I love those movies. His Halloween remakes were just so damn good. So good. I would love to see him take the helms of something like that. That'd be dope to see. I wanna switch it up on you guys real quick. So a lot of talk of horror stuff. A lot of horror talk. I got a game the other day known as Little Nightmares. My goodness. Yeah, just a little bit, Michael. It's weird that you're here in general. Keep it real with you. I bought a game that's known as Little Nightmares, right? Some of you guys may know what I'm talking about. Some of you may not. Every time I play a game, I think to myself, would he play it, right? He doesn't game at all whatsoever. But is this good enough that he would appreciate the content here, the type of game it is, the style of it? And Little Nightmares, I think, falls under that category. Artistically, it is the most gorgeous thing I've seen in quite some time. It's so eerie and freaky and scary and immersive. It's dude, I wait until the sun goes down, turn on all the lights, I light a candle, I smoke a joint, I play Little Nightmares. It's a great vibe. I love when studios can kind of just take artistic freedom, especially when it comes to video games. I love indie games. I always have. Support indie games. If you don't, like, get you some games like that, because typically speaking, yeah, there's gonna be some trash, but when you get a banger, you get a banger. Like, it's a certified mwah. That's what this game is. It was distributed or handled by Bandai, but they did not make it. It's a little studio, I believe it's called Treehouse, something of that sort. I forget the name, but they truly did do an excellent job. I spent a lot of time just kind of I have the same problem with my PlayStation and video games that I have with like streaming services. This is why I never watch Netflix. I never watch Hulu. I never really watch anything because I spend more time scrolling and looking for something to watch than actually watching anything, right? So I just kind of gave up on that. And okay, I kind of just gave up on that. That's why I don't really watch, but I have the same problem with my PlayStation. So I'm always looking for recommendations for games. You guys got me on Twitter at Driip Big. Let me know if you got anything, any kind of suggestions whatsoever. I've been playing a lot of, I told you I played Little Nightmares. I've been playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is also really on point. It's kind of like, it's basically just Kingdom Hearts, but it's a good ass game. I suggest getting it if you don't have it. If you got PlayStation Plus, it's free for the month of March. That's a beautiful thing behind PlayStation Plus. You get 3 free games every month religiously, and they're like top quality games. I have Last of Us through PlayStation Plus, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have Batman Arkham Knight through PlayStation Plus. It's typically how they do it is every month they give you 1 banger and then like 2 kind of low level kind of games, but they're still pretty decent, you know.
I was gonna say, do you choose or do they choose?
No, they choose. Every month you just get some random free 3 games for free. But I mean, like I said, dude, I got some good solid titles from these PlayStation Plus giveaways. So if you guys ain't got it, I suggest you get it. It's only, I pay $10 a month and then it's like $60 a year, something like that. Get on PlayStation, add me, big_drip 920. And what's the word I'm looking for? Remembrance of our first episode. 9/20 September. Imagine that. It's
March.
March. Yeah. It is March 21st. Oh wow. So we're just under September, October, November, December, January, February. Just under a day over 6 months. Wow. Half a year.
I keep thinking we've been around for so much longer.
Dude,
it's only half a year.
That's so weird. That's so weird. Dude, that's a pretty big number. Half a year, guys. We've been here, and everything we have right now, everywhere we're at, everything we have is because of you guys that watch on a regular basis, that you guys contribute. That one, Carlos, this is a specific for you right now because I don't think Kaden, Nick, or Odd are here, so this is just for you, the patrons. You guys are quite literally the lifeblood in a financial sense. You are quite literally supporting us. Literally and metaphorically. I cannot describe how much I appreciate you guys, and anybody else who is even considering doing such. I appreciate you too. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing to think. We have 1,500 subscribers. We got followers everywhere. I don't know our numbers for followers, but you guys, we have a regular crowd that comes in. We have like a fan base. We have a Discord where you guys just they don't. Like, we interact, yeah, but they spend more time talking to each other. But we're just all in the same group. It's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. I can't even describe in words my gratitude.
With the exception of and this is no offense, obviously, like with the exception of Justice's camera right now, because it's really the computer. We have to get him a new one.
I gotta get a new computer.
Like if you go and watch the first episode. And then put on like a newer episode in just 6 months. In just 6 months we've come a long way. I've changed a lot personally, with equipment and all that other stuff, and it's been a really fun ride. So I've been here this whole time, like now, but this is definitely his show, and
that's right.
I enjoy just kind of watching, so I'm happy to be here as well, and I'll be back tomorrow. But I took a couple of days off for myself. The Snyder Cut thing really, I was going all day, all night for weeks.
Man. So you emptied the tank. You got to refill eventually. You got to refill.
And look,
nobody's managing Drizzle.
Yeah, look, our new microphone setup is just showed up, so I'm gonna be working on that tonight. So
nice. Yeah, so we switched up and we got some new. It's a constant. We're constantly doing that. getting new stuff and upgrading and the whole spiel.
You know,
so we got us some new microphones.
You know how they advertise this box is if you go online and like watch the promotional video for it, they run it over with a truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say it's because it's got like steel chassis in it. So they actually promote you bringing this with you to other places. So like I'm gonna bring it to showcase with us. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
If you drop it, you know what I mean? It's not gonna break. It's like one of those old Nextel phones, you know? You could throw it at the wall. Yeah, it's indestructible. So
there's 3 things that would survive a nuclear blast: cockroaches, Twinkies, and a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
Survive a nuclear blast. So, like I said, we're always switching stuff up around here, and we're trying new things. We're experimenting. I've never been a man of. I have many issues, but one thing I have never been is boring or like stagnant or anything of that sense, right? So we're always trying new things, and we're always going different directions, and we're always, well, hey, why don't we try this? Or hey, why don't we do that? Right? I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. You know what? This is my corner. I would love to guys to get some feedback on this. Me and him had this conversation already, but after the whole Corona thing happens, we like to have guests around here. But, at some point, I would like to step away from StreamYards and Zoom calls and actually meet these people. Actually, as a guest, I would actually like to meet Ray Porter. I would actually like to meet Jeffrey Ford, Marcel Friday, all these people that we've had conversations with, Sean O'Connell. I want to actually meet these people. So we did a lot of talking about how we would come across that, right? And we invite them in the studio, whether or not, say it's a podcast episode, then it'd be a podcast episode. It would just be a podcast. It would just be our audio. But if we have them on QuickTip or whatever the case may be, and we're doing it on camera, I was trying to think of, cool different things we could do in different environments we could be in, and maybe even have something going on to make it more entertaining, to really bring the best out of them. For example, I don't know the name of it, so excuse me, but there's a show on YouTube that's it's pretty popular, and he'll grab other YouTubers that have a solid name, they have a solid following that, we're talking like 5 million plus. And he brings them to his barbershop, he cuts their hair, and then they just have a conversation over the thing. I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. That's a great way. Yeah, dude, it's really cool. So my idea was a card table. I know cards is kind of like a dying sport, a dying act, but
no, it's not.
I don't know. I think
it's not. I don't know how to say this, but I think a lot of people know how to play. It's just I think the internet is kind of it's ruined a lot of in-person stuff, right? Like
exactly.
But I'm sure I think that's a good idea. I really do. I think that's a good idea. Put the cameras onto the card table, and you just kind of record the conversation throughout the game, and I think that's a beautiful idea. And I know Mark Pellegrino said he would be down to do an in-studio interview. It's really like it's transitioning out of this pandemic period and going back to real life is what we've never dealt with before.
That's right.
Right? Because we've only been around since the pandemic.
That's right. Yeah.
So we've never really done anything other than in pandemic interviews, and the way that
that's true.
I'm excited for that challenge because it's something new, and the Snyder Cut is come and gone, and now it's gone. Right now it's over.
Yeah.
It's time to move on with life, and whatever form that comes, I'm game. So I'm interested. I'm happy.
Yeah, I am too, and that's why I was been thinking about how we could come across it, because I feel the same way you do. I'm excited for this, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for us. And you're absolutely right. We've never known a world outside of the pandemic. We're too young. We're only 6 months old, so we grew up in this. This is our lives. As far as for everybody watching, as far as the card game thing goes, I played a lot of cards. He wouldn't play, but he'd sit at the table with us and just shoot the shit, and we'd have a good time. And some of the best conversations I've ever had come from
Come through a card game. Yeah. I mean, like,
I don't know why or what's going on in people's heads that make it that way, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's why I would sit down and be a part of it still.
Yeah,
because I don't like to play cards, but I like the conversation that comes from it. So you know what I mean? Like that's what I would be there for is all the technical stuff and being a part of the conversation. So it gives me something to do too. So I'm game.
Right, and you know what I was thinking as well? We could get some dope. We could play around with it a lot, camera wise, and get some cool shots and cool angles and stuff, and just make it visually look awesome. Right? We could. There's a lot of potential to it. And the second kind of idea I was thinking of, and it kind of depends on the type of guest we have, who this person is, what they do, how they behave, what they're into. But the second idea I had was kind of more of a lounge situation, what we were trying to make Black Label be, right? But take Black Label to the next level and actually, like, I don't know, I'd say like rent a lounge for a night or whatever the case may be, whatever. We'll have money flowing in at that point. We bring the guests there. The whole aesthetic, right? It's dim lights and neon and beanbag chairs, right? Everything's real low, calm, smooth, and we have a legit open conversation. There's no nothing. There's no restraint. There's no hesitation. There's no nothing. It's just we straight up have a conversation. And but again, that kind of depends on the type of person we have on the show, right? That's more for like the funny guy, right?
Yeah, these are all conversations to be had, and it's going to be fun having them. So
yes, that's right. Either way, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future. Well, we had a lot of talks of we talk long term often, and how we should come across it, what we should do, what we can do, what we shouldn't do, etc. But a lot of the same kind of questions that come into that topic we were just on with the whole shared universe thing is what to do, what not to do, how to do it, how to avoid certain things, blah, blah, blah. But putting this together and building this, first of all, it's been quite some time that I went into something with every intention of it being long term, right? Not too many things in my life fall into that category, including my job. Long term, no, I'm good. I very much could. I could make it a career, and it's not necessarily a bad one either, but I just have no desire to do so. This show is the first time I've put my real commitment and effort and time, well, all of it, for the most part anyways. And it's been a great experience, and I love doing it. And I know it's getting a little, I guess, sentimental at this point, but it's important to me. I like to talk about it because it's, I've never had anything like this, right? I've never had a platform. I could never imagine that anybody would care enough to show up on a regular basis, even if it's only 4 or 5 people. You're still here on a regular basis, and it's only me and him and Jack. So, I mean, you only have 3 options, right? I don't know. It's just, it's a great feeling, and I love it. And this part of what's going on right here is I'm really trying to convey gratitude and how much this means to me, and not just to y'all, but to us as well. Myself, him, Jack, because they put in work for me too. I put in work. We all put in work, and it's folding like a butterfly, right? We're out here like Mothra, right? And we're about to hatch and fly through the air. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Stay tuned, guys. If you're not already, like and subscribe. We got a hell of a future coming towards you. If you want to be a part of that future, if you want to contribute to that future, consider it becoming a Patreon. It's $5 a month. We try to give you little knickknacks and deals and exclusives and stuff, make it worth your while. But at the end of the day, it's about supporting us, and whether or not you believe in what we're doing and you think we have what it takes, that's really the question you need to answer, and whether or not you become a patron. What did I leave out? if you're in Philly, check out Bounce Bar. They have, I already did the whole spiel, but they got all kinds of awesome chicken wings and seafoods and drinks and all kinds of fun stuff. It's a lovely place to get to hang out with producer Jack. Make sure you check out for us on March 31st. We will be live at Showcase Cinemas in Dedham, Massachusetts. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm excited for this movie. Another shared universe that we didn't even touch on today, but that's okay. No biggie. I'm excited to see what this is going to be. I'm still very upset about the runtime, but that's all right. I'll get over it. Guys, listen, thank you so much for joining my corner. Drizzle, thank you for joining the corner. I know I'm a little rusty. Give me time. I don't stream by myself all that often. Give me time. Practice makes perfect, my friends. Please follow us on Twitter. Channels, Twitter, which would be him, is @_culture2020. And my personal Twitter is @DripBig. Follow us both. We're always putting out tweets to keep you guys updated and let you know what's going on. You know, get that phone line number, call us on the weekends, the whole shebang. We're always trying to talk to you guys and stay with y'all, right? So till next time, my friends. Drizzle, you want to say anything before I let us out?
No, yeah, I'll be on tomorrow for the Daily Show. I'll be on around 5:45 p.m. Tomorrow's Monday, so it's gonna be a good time. And then we'll be back in the swing of things. March 27th, the Us United stream, Us United streaming event for AFSP, and to say thank you to Zack Snyder. That's gonna be a good time. The March 31st, like he said, for Showcase Cinemas, which is also gonna be a good time. And then I'm working a timeout with Ray Porter right now for a show, so we can all get giddy over his Dark Side performance.
Bask in the glory that is Dark Side. Absolutely.
Yeah. And hopefully Ray Porter, he's going to come to the Pop Culture Corner for his great prize. Ooh. So we'll see you next time.
Do we have what it takes? Can we make it to be continued?
To be.
That was like a narration thing I was doing.